Picture this. It's 2009. The world is buzzing with excitement and uncertainty. People are rocking out to Lady Gaga, her music echoing through arenas and living rooms alike. Meanwhile, the economy is in the toilet, with financial markets crashing and people losing jobs. And above Earth, two satellites are about to have a very bad day, unbeknownst to the world below. One satellite was Iridium-33, a communication satellite crucial for global communications. Think fancy space phone calls, connecting people across continents. The other was Cosmos 2251, a Russian military satellite used for secure communications. Basically, a space walkie-talkie, but way less cool and much more secretive. These two were cruising in different orbits, minding their own business, when bam! They collided in a catastrophic event. Thousands of pieces of debris scattered across space, creating a dangerous cloud of space junk. This wasn't just your average fender bender, it was a significant event in space history. This was a major cosmic crash with long-lasting implications. It highlighted a growing problem, space junk, which poses a threat to future space missions. And it got everyone thinking, how do we stop this from happening again? The need for better space traffic management became clear. So, who were these metal birds before they met their demise? Iridium-33 was part of a constellation of satellites. Their job? Provide communication services around the globe. Think GPS, but for calls. Cosmos 2251, on the other hand, was a bit more mysterious. It was launched by the Soviet Union back in 1993. Its purpose? Not entirely clear. Some say communication, others say reconnaissance. Space is full of secrets. What we do know is that neither satellite saw the other coming. And that's a problem. Because in space, even a small miscalculation can have huge consequences. The collision happened at a relative speed of over 26,000 miles per hour. That's faster than a speeding bullet. The impact was catastrophic. Both satellites were completely destroyed. But the real problem? The debris. The collision created thousands of pieces of space junk, ranging in size from tiny flecks of paint to large chunks of metal. And all of this debris is now orbiting Earth at incredibly high speeds. Remember that scene in Gravity where Sandra Bullock is dodging debris? Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Except it's real, and it's happening right now. Section 4. Space junk, a growing problem. Why should we care about space junk? It's a question that might not seem urgent, but it is. Well, for starters, it's dangerous. Imagine a tiny piece of metal traveling at thousands of miles per hour, smashing into a working satellite. The damage could be catastrophic. Or worse, a spacecraft with astronauts on board. The stakes are incredibly high. But it's not just about safety. The implications are far-reaching. Space junk also poses a threat to our access to space. It could hinder future missions. As more and more satellites are launched, the amount of debris in orbit will continue to grow. This is a problem that will only get worse. And the more debris there is, the greater the risk of collisions. Each collision creates even more debris. It's like driving on a highway during rush hour, but instead of cars, it's chunks of metal hurtling through space at breakneck speeds. The congestion is real, not exactly ideal for a Sunday drive. The future of space travel depends on how we tackle this growing problem. Section 5. Can we stop these accidents? It's a question that has been on the minds of scientists and engineers for years. So how do we solve the space junk problem? The issue is more pressing than ever. It's complicated, but there are a few things we can do. We need a multifaceted approach. First, we need to track the debris. This is the foundational step. That means using ground-based radar and telescopes to monitor the skies for potential collisions. Constant vigilance is key. Think of it like air traffic control, but for space. Every piece of debris is a potential hazard. Second, we need to reduce the amount of debris we create. Prevention is better than cure. That means designing satellites that can deorbit themselves at the end of their lives, instead of just hanging out in space forever. This is crucial for long-term sustainability. And finally, we need to develop technologies to remove existing debris. This is perhaps the most challenging part. This could involve things like lasers, nets, or even robotic arms. Each method has its own set of challenges and advantages. Section 6. Space traffic control to the rescue? The 2009 satellite collision was a wake-up call. It showed us that space is not as empty as we once thought, and it highlighted the need for better space traffic management. Think about it. We have rules and regulations for driving cars, flying planes, even sailing boats. But for space, we're still figuring it out. The good news is that people are working on it. Governments and private companies around the world are developing new technologies and strategies to address the space junk problem. Because let's face it, space is awesome, and we want to keep it that way.